The six-pack most people are chasing has almost nothing to do with their ab workout. It has everything to do with what they've never been taught about how the core actually functions. 6 exercises, rooted in methods that predate modern gyms entirely, and a way of training abs that most workout videos have never come close to explaining correctly. Most people train their abs the same way every session. High rep crunches, no structure, no progression, and the same result every time. The issue isn't effort or discipline, it's that nobody ever explained the mechanism behind why any of it works, or doesn't. Once you understand that, everything changes. Exercise 1. The hollow hold. Lie on your back with arms extended overhead and legs straight. Press your lower back firmly into the floor, then lift your shoulders and legs a few inches off the ground simultaneously. Hold that position for 20 to 40 seconds, 4 rounds. Here's what most people misunderstand about abs. They're not primarily a curling muscle. Their most important function is resisting extension, preventing the spine from arching under load. That's the bracing function, and it's the one that matters most for real strength and real stability. Most programs never touch it, which is why so many people have cores that look trained but perform poorly under any real demand. If your lower back lifts off the floor during this exercise, your legs are too low. Pull them in until the lower back stays flat and work from there. Done correctly, this movement has a carryover effect that most people don't expect. Squat and deadlift numbers tend to improve because a core that can genuinely brace transfers force more efficiently through every other compound movement. Exercise 2. Dragon flags. Lie on a bench and grip it firmly behind your head. Instead of curling your torso upward, keep your entire body rigid as a single unit and lower it in a straight line, controlled, almost to the bench, then pull back up. 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps. The rectus abdominis runs the full length of the torso and is built to control long lever movements, not just to fold the body in half. Dragon flags train that function directly. The most common mistake is allowing the hips to break and letting the lower back absorb the load. The body needs to move as one piece throughout. If the full variation is currently out of reach, bend the knees to shorten the lever. It's the correct starting point for building toward the full version. This movement develops the kind of control over the obliques and lower abdominal region that crunches are structurally incapable of, rather than a collection of independently firing muscles. Exercise 3. Rotational strikes. Stand tall and rotate your hips and torso together as you throw controlled, alternating strikes either into a bag or into open air with something weighted in your hands. 40 total strikes, 20 per side, 4 rounds. Keep the feet grounded and generate the force from the hips rather than the shoulders.
The obliques function as both anti-rotation and rotation muscles simultaneously, which sounds like a contradiction but reflects a genuine mechanical reality. Sports scientists commonly describe this as a spring-loading and releasing mechanism. The obliques coil under tension and then release that stored force through the torso and into the limbs. Rotation is the function that builds visible definition along the sides of the waist. Side bends don't replicate it. This movement does, which makes it arguably the most underrated exercise in this entire session for developing the lateral definition most people are specifically trying to build. Exercise 4. Slow tempo leg raises. Hanging from a bar or lying flat, keep the legs straight and lower them with complete control until they're an inch from the floor. Then raise them back up without swinging. 4 sets of 10. Slow the lowering phase to a deliberate 3 count on every single rep. The lower abdominal fibers are most activated in the stretched, lowered position, not at the top of the movement. Most people rush through exactly that phase because it's the most uncomfortable part, and in doing so, they skip the portion of the rep that produces the most stimulus. This is one of the most consistent and consequential errors in standard ab training. The top half of the rep is the easy half. The bottom half is where the muscle actually works. Controlling the descent is the entire point of the exercise, not just a stylistic preference. Exercise 5, breathing-based core compression. Exhale completely, draw the belly button toward the spine, and hold that contracted position for 15 to 20 seconds while breathing shallowly through the chest. 5 repetitions twice daily. This trains the transversus abdominis, the deep stabilizing muscle that wraps around the spine like an internal weight belt. It doesn't contribute to visible surface definition the way the rectus abdominis does, but it determines whether the midsection looks tight and pulled in or soft and pushed forward even at the same body fat percentage. It also has a direct positive effect on posture and spinal stability that compounds over time with consistent practice. One honest note worth including here: some people have intestinal anatomy that naturally sits further forward, and no training intervention changes that completely. But consistent practice of this compression work gets the midsection as close to its structural potential as anatomy allows, and that's a meaningful outcome regardless of starting point. Exercise 6, weighted twisting sit-ups. Hold a plate or any sufficiently heavy household object against your chest. Sit all the way up, add a controlled rotation at the top, then lower back down slowly. 3 sets of 12 reps. Think of the core as a spring under tension. A crunch compresses that spring partially. A full weighted sit-up with rotation compresses it completely and then releases it under load, which is the stimulus required to force the muscle to grow rather than simply fatigue. Most people avoid full sit-ups based on the widespread belief that they damage the lower back. But the injury risk associated with sit-ups comes almost entirely from speed and momentum, not the movement pattern itself. Performed slowly with deliberate control through every inch of the range, this is one of the most effective and complete ab loading exercises available. It trains the abdominals through their full range from top to bottom in a way that no crunch variation can replicate, which is why skipping it leaves everything else in this session underdeveloped by comparison.
The element that ties everything together. There's one more factor that determines whether these 6 exercises produce the results they're capable of producing, and it has nothing to do with adding more sets or more volume. Most people train their abs in complete isolation and then immediately return to moving through the rest of their session with a completely loose, unbraced core. The abdominals were not designed to function only during dedicated ab exercises. In traditional conditioning methods that predate modern fitness culture, bracing the core through breath and tension was integrated into every movement, not reserved for specific exercises. Every squat, every push, every explosive movement was treated as an opportunity to reinforce the same core tension being built in isolation work. Failing to do this means the adaptation built during your ab session gets repeatedly undermined by the hours of loose, unbraced movement that follow it. The fix is straightforward. Before every heavy lift, every sprint, and every demanding movement, exhale, brace the core the same way you did during the hollow hold, and then move. Applied consistently, this turns every session into additional core training without adding a single extra exercise. It's also the difference between abdominal definition that only appears during a deliberate flex and definition that remains visible in a relaxed, natural standing position. The part nobody wants to hear. All 6 of these exercises can be executed perfectly, consistently, and progressively for months. If the muscle being built is sitting beneath a meaningful layer of body fat, none of it will be visible. Abs are developed through training. They're revealed through diet. 2 people can follow an identical ab program and produce completely different visual outcomes based entirely on their body fat percentage, not their effort or their exercise selection. Seeing what you've built requires a modest calorie deficit, sufficient protein intake to protect muscle tissue during the deficit, and consistency measured in months rather than days or weeks. That's not a complicated formula, but it is a non-negotiable one. The complete summary. Hollow holds to develop core bracing and anti-extension strength. Dragon flags to train the full length of the abdominal wall under a long lever load. Rotational strikes to build genuine oblique definition through the function the obliques were actually designed for. Slow tempo leg raises to properly load the lower abdominal region through the half of the rep most people consistently skip. breathing compressions to develop the deep stabilizing layer that determines how the midsection looks at rest, and weighted twisting sit-ups to load the entire abdominal wall through its complete range of motion. Brace through everything else you do, not just these 6 movements. Train with control prioritized over speed, and let your nutrition handle the part that no training program ever could.